was your weekend, Ted?
Well, you mean here?
Yeah,
It was fabulous.
absolutely.
I had a ball. I slept good. I didn't have to argue. You know, I had to kept me from drinking. Because I was afraid to do. They want to sit around me. Say, let's go sit with the old man on the porch. Yeah. See, around in Chicago, man, they pass by, neighbors pass by and say, how do he do it? Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I even got the security guard across the street from there. He want to come over and sit. Yeah. Sit on the porch. I say, oh man, stop this here, man. So we go in the garage, in the back.
Well, I have a tour bus that stops by in front of your house. Doesn't it show everybody your porch?
Oh no.
No.
No, they don't do that. I don't even want nobody to know I'm Ted Harvey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even want them to know it. They just call me Ted.
We'll keep it a secret. We won't let
Please
anybody
do.
know.
Because
We'll
you let them
block
do
it out of here. We won't tell anybody.
And my wife don't like a lot of people on the porch no way. Now, get the record straight. Bo Diddley really had that beat, that Bo Diddley beat. That was his. But Billy Boy Arnold couldn't get in there. So I said, well, I'll tell you what we can do. We can switch the beat around. See, make it kind of, you know, put a little flavor to it and switch it around and stuff like that. Bo Diddley went for it. Billy Boy Arnold fitted in real good. Them shakers, Jerome, all that fitted in good. And we started playing the clubs with that Bo Diddley beat. After Bo Diddley, I went back playing jazz. Because I just had come out of the army. And I said, well, I'm going to wait on these guys coming out of Mississippi. And this here fellow that I was playing jazz, you know, around, U.B. Glanton. I'll never forget that name because he was a next door neighbor of mine also. And he took me around, and he was, at that time, he was working with Elmo James. So I thought Elmo James and Hound Dog Taylor, because they look alike. Both of them got big feet and they tall. They all looked alike, you know. And when I met him, I thought it was a hound dog, you know. No, Elmo, you know, Elmo, I thought hound dog was Elmo when he come and got me. I said, damn, I'm going back working with Elmo. You know, that's Hound Dog Taylor. I didn't know, man. I didn't know. I was young and wild.
Yeah.
You know, young. I didn't know. And I got to play it because they were playing the same. They're playing that slide deep and heavy, you know. with Hound Dog, we was working little small jobs, running them down through the South and, you know, messing around. We had a lot of work in Chicago, you know, because I was working at the time. I had a full 8-hour job, you know, and that was it. And when we got to clicking real good, Bruce Inglauer showed up, Alligator. And he came through Chicago. And he liked it, you know. And there it was, clicked off.
Yeah, yeah, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Got a long history.
That's what keeps me out here.
Yeah.
Then Ron Bartolucci came out.
Yeah.
It's all history.
Yeah.
Y'all know the score, you read the books.
So
How I Met Ted Harvey?
yeah.
I read an article about Bean Baby Records in Chicago, and it talked about they recorded this guy called Hound Dog Taylor. And I just thought, what a far-out name for a band, you know. But then I heard a 45, and it drove me insane. And then as soon as I heard an album, I quit my job, and I went to Chicago. I had the Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers. And when I got there, I got the Bean Baby Records, and they called up Hound Dog, and he came over and picked me up, and the next day he brought me out with them, and I drank so much I passed out, and they carried me and took me to Second Club. And then I've been with Ted ever since. He's the best.
Talk about Black Rose Records and where it all came from.
Wait, I got a phone call. Hello?
Hold the phone.
Hey, you in? Wait, we'll be right there.
Come in.
That's Ron. He wants to come in. They locked him out.
Keep him out there. Keep him out. Keep him out. No, he bringing it in the food. He bringing it in the food and stuff. Let him come in.
What about meeting Jimmy? How did that come about?
Well, I went to meet Ted at the House of Blues. I think to drop him off some CDs he had where he played behind Cub Coda to pass out when he was touring, and so I got this chance to meet Jimmy and Jimmy D. Lane and you know the rest of the band. And then I think it was only about 2 months later I was in L.A. and I got to town and I didn't even get a room. I saw their name and I went and saw them and they said, "Where you staying?" I said, "No place." And they said, "With us." So I went and stayed with them.
Hey, you hot too, Ted.
That was this guy, though. I just saw him today on this film. I didn't know, because I was concentrating on what we were doing. It was the first time I ever played a live set like that, you know, without a bass and that, you know, and I was trying to concentrate, and there's this guy dancing all night long. I didn't see him. I saw
Y'all
him
shouldn't have charged him coming in. He ain't no money than I ain't, because I was laughing at him.
Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you. I want to let y'all know we're recording this, so if you want to make noise, feel free. You might end up on a CD someday. Black Rose Records. So we're just gonna have a good time, man. This is the first time I've played this format, and it's fun. It's the first time me and Mike ever played together. Let's get it up for Mike, y'all. How about it? We're gonna bring it back to normality here. Did y'all hear the one about the 69-year-old drummer? $39, I'm sorry. $39. How about if I tell y'all, it's been doing a long time. J.B. Huddle, Hound Dog, Jimmy Rock. And he's still 16.
Influence, I would say, definitely my old man and Buddy, Robert Johnson. The list goes on and on. Hendrix, that list goes on and on. Man. I would love to jam with him. We cut that October 12th and 13th, 97. And it was going to be called It's All Good, which is one of the songs on the list. And then my father got sick and he passed away December 19th, 97. And me and Chad Kassem, executive of the record company, he thought, and we thought kind of at the same time that wouldn't be appropriate because that's not all good, to have a loss like that. So I decided to just call it Legacy, man, because they recorded him talking during an interview. I wasn't in the studio. And we found he was listening to the playbacks of the tapes and such, and we found his interview, and he was talking, and I said, oh man, is there any way, let's edit some of that into the record somehow. And so during One Room Country Shack, right before we decided to put something that he said on there, and it turned out to be what's on the CD.
It's just nice to be here in the studio with Little Jimmy and the whole gang. He's on his own. I'm trying my best to give him something to go on, you know what I mean? He's got to grab this ball and keep it rolling. That's all I want to do, just grab it and keep it rolling till somebody else picks it up.
So I think the first session we did, we had, who was that first? Mick Jagger? No, I'm sorry. Eric Clapton was working on his record.
Yeah, he was stole him out of the studio.
Yeah, he was down there.
He was in the studio.
He didn't want to go back. He didn't want to.
No, he didn't go back.
He didn't want to go back to his own session. Yeah. So we were having fun down there. He came in. Stephen Stills came in, and somebody at Taj Mahal. Wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think
Taj Mahal came in. Yeah.
And then the next time we were out there, we had cut some more tracks. That's when Jeff Healey, Cam Wilson was there. Who else was it? Mick and Keith. They were down doing the Bridges to Babylon session, and they came down. Daryl was there, the bass player. Charlie Watts. They are all amazed at Ted. They invited us to the Soldier Field show when they came through with the Bridges to Babylon. So we get down there at Soldier Field, man, and Charlie comes up. Hey Jimmy, how you doing? Where's that drummer? He's talking about Ted.
Yeah.
Is the drummer going to make it? Is he coming down?
No, I didn't make that one.
I'll tell you something else, too. Some of the other cats that were doing this session, they were just mesmerized by Ted's shuffle. Yeah, and when I say these names, I think you guys going to be familiar with them. And you might say, damn, I didn't know. They were all looking at Ted like, how the hell is he doing that? They had Steve Guide in there. Looking at Ted, they were all inside in the control booth, and they were looking and wanting to.
Oh yeah.
Steve Gadd, Keltner was there, Charlie Watts, there was this other drummer. But they were all in the booth looking at Ted with their mouths open. Like, how is he doing that shuffle? It's a special thing that Ted does. I haven't heard anybody do it. Whipper Layton.
Well, I stole a lot of that from Bilo, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I stole a lot of licks from Bilo. He told me And I used his stuff, put it on a lot of stuff, but I got tired of getting snapped upside the head with hound. I got tired of that. Well, you pull in that jazz stuff, pow, throw it down.
And all those guys was looking at me. They were looking at me like,
I learned a lot off them guys, man.
it's like a marching band type blues.
Yeah, well, that's where half of it come from.
And he's playing left hand, he's southpaw, and he's just chewing, he's bopping his head in a different rhythm than his foot is going, and chewing gum.
It's the gum.
You know, and a session, you know. So, yeah, you can hear it. And he's just 10, man. He's just 10 out of it.
You know, one thing that really impressed me was on the Long Gone album, when you had Jim Keltner on drums with you. I was wondering, how did that happen?
Well, we went out to, we were doing a festival in Riverside, and I met the producer. Well, I met him before then. We had set up a session and all that, and he asked me, I wanted to use my road band that I play with normally. And he said, well, hey, you know, I talked to Jim Keltner, and man, he really wants to do this session. And he's into, I think he saw us out at BB King's or something in River City, and he wanted to, you know, meet and see how we would hit it off, and he wanted to do a guest appearance on the record, you know. So ended up doing the whole record, you know. So it was fun, man. We walked in, and I'm looking, and he's, Jim, hey, how you doing, man? I mean, he's played with everybody, man. You know, Bob Dylan, Traveling Wilburys.
That makes you a traveling Wilburys, my boy. You know, you definitely.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know some heavy cats. Each one of them. So we just met, and his drum kit was there, and we started playing.
How did you get hooked up with this anyway, Mike? You know what I mean? How did it? You know, like I know that you would talk with Ron back when Dewey Terry was around. And
Right, yeah,
If you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk about that, that'd be cool too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, that was a blast getting to meet Dewey Terry, because I remember the first time I heard that record, the Don and Dewey record, and the stuff was wild, you know? I'd never heard anything like that. I mean, they were playing R&B, but they had that heavy blues and that, you know, it was almost like prototype punk, and the energy they had in it, you know? And there's that tune, Kill Me, on the record, which I loved and I always wanted to do. And finally, when we got around to making the first Radio Kings record, I said, you know, we're only going to cover a couple tunes. This is one of the tunes I want to do. And we ended up doing it. And somehow, Dewey heard it, or his manager heard it, or got a copy of it, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then Ron was bringing those guys to town for a show. And Gail, who was his manager at the time, maybe she still is, I don't know, called me up and said, look, we're coming to town. We'd really like to hang out and meet with the band, because he really likes, you know, the record, and I'd like to meet you guys. And I said, yeah, that'd be great, you know. So they came to town, and nobody else in the band could make it that day because we had another show in Connecticut, and I was going to run late to hang out with him and meet him, and so the rest of the band in Connecticut. And my wife and I went over to the hotel and, you know, got to meet him and hung out with him for a couple of hours, you know. We talked about music and this and that, and, you know, he said, I just want to tell you that, you know, all the people that have covered Don and Dewey songs over the years, Neil Young, and he rattled off a couple more. He goes, nobody did it right but you guys. And I thought that was a pretty cool compliment coming from him, you know, so.
Great.
Kill me. Yeah, yeah, kill me.
And so now you get hooked up with this. You know what I mean? This is like.
Oh, this is another dream come true for me to play with Ted. I mean, when Al called me up and told me about the gig, and he said, you know, Jimmy, and I said, oh, it'd be great to play with Jimmy, and then he mentioned Ted, and it was like, well, you know, how can you not do a gig if you know you get to play with Ted, right? So I jumped at it, you know. I'd you know, heard Ted on records for years, and a lot of my friends around town had played with him, you know, Sugar Ray and the Blue Tones and Mudcat and Ronnie Earl and all those guys that I know really well had played with Ted way back when, and I'd heard all about the gum and the whistle, and I found out, you know, I was like, oh, I'm going to get to find out this for myself, so, you know, here I am, and I'm having a ball doing it.
Oh, the London Fog?
The London
man.
Fog story.
Oh, man, that was a great big plane, man. We up in the air, and he, some kind of way they got back to him, don't come down because of heavy fog, you know, don't come down. So we had set up there in that plane. We seen another movie on that, just circling around because it couldn't come down, too much fog. And he got another call. He said, well, take a chance and come on in. He did, all right, God dog it. And I ain't seen nothing but just clouds. Nothing but clouds. I mean all the way down, nothing but clouds. And the plane was doing all this here and dumping like this, and I, shit, man. Everybody back there, so even the baby's crying and carrying on. But when he hit the ground, he slid. And that sucker was moving like this here. Finally, he stopped. Then they was greeting you as you come off. Hello, hello, hello. You get he got to me and said, yes, sir. Said, how'd you like the flight? Yes, sir. Telling everybody, how'd you like the flight and all that? I said, it was a pretty nice flight, but you go back there and check that back seat back there. Go back there and check that back seat back there.
Well, Blackbird started 20 years ago. I started recording a country band called Burt Puckett and the New Gamblers. I just did it as a fun type thing, because I like the guys and all that. And 20 years later, I'm still doing it. I enjoy the people I'm working with. I worked with Tom Hammond, who's really big right now. He's got his own thing out on Timus Records. The name of the album's called Balderdash. He played drums, produced, and wrote songs for Susan Tedeschi. Tom's doing real well. I work with a lot of musicians. They like working on my label because we're just upfront with each other, you know. We shake our hand with no contract to sign except for, you know, the only contract I ever signed was Cap Coda. Had him a couple of years, and that was it, you know. But everybody I deal with is just one-on-one, and I enjoy it. Now ask me some other questions.
All right.
Because I'm not good at talking without people asking me something.
Yeah, well,
That's what Holly does for me all the time.
so where are you going from here?
That's what it is.
We're going to go see Holly Harris.
.929 VOS, Boston's one-of-a-kind radio station. I'm Holly Harris. This is Blues on Sunday. We're sponsored tonight by Best Buy, the place to find magical gifts. Just turn on the fun, it's Best Buy. And we have some special guests tonight, speaking of magical, Mr. Ted Harvey and Jimmy D. Lane. I'm going to talk some more with them. And how did you hook up with J.B. Hutto?
Well, I hooked up with J.B. Hutto. J.B. lived on the west side. And he come down one time in Chicago on one of Hound Dog's shows. And he come in there, and him and Hound Dog jumped up on the bandstand and got to playing. And J.B. Hutto liked the way I was playing. He asked me why don't I come down and, you know, work with his band. You know, and so, well, I was with Hound Dog at the time. When Hound Dog wasn't working, I would go see, you know, J.B. Hutto.
Oh, that's a good way to do it.
You know, and then he got me and Brooke Phillips, you know, together one time, and we worked with him, traveling, went all overseas and everything with him.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is amazing. I just feel so honored that you've come by. I mean, both of you, I really thank you. I wish you a healthy, happy New Year and holiday, and thank you. I can't wait to hear the CD. I can't wait to see you guys again. And I'm just going to keep playing your music, and I wish you all the best.
Hello, this is Ted Harvey, and I'm here with Holly, 92.9 FM station, Blues on Sunday, BOS. Thank you, and good night.